Anyway, since you're here, let's give a little update on what's going on. Let me get a swig. That'll give you time to like and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, what we're doing is we're starting off, and let me orientate this so it's better. There we go. What we're doing is good morning from Korea. Here we are, retired in Korea, and there is the view from our apartment. And we got a little kids playground down there. Seems like it's going to be nice and hot today here in Korea. Yesterday it was like 93, 94 where we were at. And of course, if you throw in humidity and all that other stuff, you're looking into the hundreds, low hundreds. So yeah, it was miserable yesterday. So yeah, we did some running around and stuff like that. Air conditioners going. We got the dehumidifier. You got to have a dehumidifier here in Korea. So for the summertime, and then in the winter, you have to have a humidifier. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you an update on the room, the studio. Ooh, the studio. And what we're ended up doing is this right here. So this is the studio. Basically what we end up doing is we have this room here, and that used to be up against this wall, and we're kind of clearing out that wall to do that. I can see the light. So apparently the cardboard that I put on that side is not staying there. So I'm gonna have to move that table, do something with the cardboard. I don't know. They don't make duct tape like they used to. And then what we ended up doing is getting this a little bit more squared away in regards to cleanliness and everything else. So we're going to take a look at that, show you what I mean. Still kind of messy. So all of that is going to be gone. I'm going to just have a few things on here. Most of that is just like stuff that needs to go in its proper place. Thanos is going to stay, computer's going to stay. And by the way, I ended up rewiring everything. I know it kind of looks like a rat's nest, but it is 100 times better than what it was. Holy crow, it was terrible. So many cables. And like I said, it looks like it's rough, but that is like 100 times better than what it was. I got my Ulanzi video switcher that's going to be coming into play, and I've got cables for, and the reason I got those is for a camera there, a camera here, and we have a cable run for a camera for the top-down views, so when I do my painting videos, we can get coverage on that, and then we have the camera over there. But currently, we only have 3 cameras operating, not able to get 4. So it is what it is. So whatever I end up doing, I'm gonna have to switch from cameras. But the good thing, let me see if I can set this up here and show you what we're talking about. What we end up having here, this is Ecamm Live, and we've got our 3 different camera views. If we can get this. Seriously, where are we? Let's go to this one. Okay, so there's me and my happiness. And we've got that camera view, we've got the side desk camera view, and then we've got, I don't know, no, not that camera. What camera? Oh, that camera, the one on the desk there. And then we go back to this one here. So the whole idea of this is to basically have this wall behind me. So if you end up, like from this vantage point, is going to be, seriously, this is where I'm going to be streaming, and I kind of want to clear out that wall, and so I've got a good frame here, probably something, seriously, so much crap. Probably frame something like that, and then that way I got some stuff over there, and then I'll have something over here, and so I'll be framed like all of the professional YouTubers. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit of a better better lighting, gonna get some, what am I gonna end up getting? I was just checking out, and there were some cool videos that I saw of a guy who does, let's see, what is his name? It is Gabriel VIP, and he has a real small studio. His stuff looks super professional. And so he's got some real good ideas and some suggestions. So I'm gonna be getting a couple of soft lights, which are they? It's either gonna be the Godox ES30 key light, which is 2250 lumens, or he's got another one, the Godox ES45. So 30 or 45, but they're like 140 bucks, 120 bucks each. And so we're going to be checking those out, but they've got a stand, they got brightness, they go 2800 to 6500 Kelvin for color temperature adjustment, app, remote, the whole 9 yards. That's the $140 one. The $120 one has 0 to 100% brightness, 2800 to 6500, app control. I don't know, maybe I'll have to go for the $120 one. Yeah, we might end up doing that one right there. So that is probably what we'll end up doing. I know, I've got so much stuff. This is kind of weird. Have the camera take a picture of the camera feed, so we can do the feed. But anyway, so this is the system that we're looking at here, is this Godox ES30 key light and 2250 lumens, brightness, 2800 to 6500 Kelvin, soft light. It comes out supposed to be pretty nice, and it's not loud, which is good. That's going to be something. It's going to be nice, and streaming, all of that cool stuff. The $140 one has, if you look there, you've got those two knobs, and those two knobs end up, you can adjust the brightness and stuff like that. Where is it? There it is. CCT and dim. So I'm assuming intensity and brightness or whatever. I don't know what it is, or the color correction. So yeah, that's going to be pretty good, and we're going to check out that. So probably get a couple of those. The difference between the $120 one versus the $130 or $140 one, and I'm thinking about getting some gray background for this. But on this one here, the ES45, you get a separate remote for this. So you have a detachable remote that is magnetically attached to the unit, and then you can take it off, and then you could adjust the brightness and the color and so on and so forth. So that's kind of cool. I like that. And it recharges when it's hooked up to the unit. Comes with a little desk stand there, so yeah, it'll be an interesting little thing. Cool on the E-spot. I mean, it's from 120 to 139. What's the difference? This is the newer one, as if that really makes a difference. But that remote would be nice instead of having to stand up, make changes. But you got the app. You could do the app as well on both of them. So yeah, I'm going to be looking at doing that. There was some other stuff that I wanted to check out, which like some gray background, dark blue gray concrete wallpaper peel and stick. So thinking about putting that on the back of the wall that we have behind us here, so that way we've got like an accent wall, and there's one with concrete. So I'm kind of looking at those different things there. I'm not sure which color. There's another one, a thick blue gray black concrete peel. That one ends up. So yeah, I'm not sure which one we're going to do. I'm still checking it out. And then that's what I would love to have. That camera right there is the Sony Alpha Z V E10. And they've got a newer model, but it's like $1,000. but I would really, really like to get that. And of course, with the lens, how much does that go up to? Kerchunk, currently not available, but base and lens, 16 millimeter base. I don't need a mic. Okay, but anyway, that's the camera that I would like to get, either that or the newer one. But the newer one, holy crow, that one is expensive as well. So, you know, you throw that and a lens and then a link. I don't need that, so that's another $100 that we could take off there. But definitely need a lens. So you're looking at $1,000 for that camera. So if somebody has one of these laying around and you're not using it, consider donating to the cause. Right, as if somebody's going to do that. So yeah, that's what we got going on. The good thing is we're able to get our three cameras back up and running, and it ends up that what was it? The Sequoia update 15.6 that kind of screwed with everything because I have an additional like expansion dock. It plugs in with USB-C and it gives you a few more connections on your Mac. That was like out of luck big time. And I haven't plugged in the external drive yet. So we're going to take a look at that pretty soon. But they did release a new update. So I updated that because apparently a lot of people were having problems like I was having, and doing some rewiring and stuff like that. I was able to get the camera systems back up. So we've got our 3 camera views there. So yeah, we've got a bunch of models over there. Doesn't look as cool as that. You know, that's probably the coolest look there. And I've got a ton of stuff that I need to get rid of. A lot of stuff that I need to get rid of. So yeah, that's what we got going on. And you know, I'm thinking about doing that peel and stick on the windows there. Now this one ended up staying fine. And of course now I got all my stuff on there. That one's fine. It's that one that ended up shifting and falling down. So I'm not impressed with the duct tape here in Korea. Duct tape, I remember you could put on there and it would last for years. But we can kind of see how that cardboard ended up falling down. And yeah, the whole thing just kind of shifted down. So we got some layer or some light leakage there. So that's going to mean having to move all this stuff so I can get behind there, which is oh such a joy. And then the other thing that I need to end up doing, because here in Korea, things are a little bit different. We've got 220 power. So I need to get, and this, this is the other thing about Korea, is the power. The code, the electrical code for Korea, 220 power is great. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Most of our stuff is 220. Even my Mac is 220. But we do have a little 110 outlet. There's one outlet for each room. So as you can see that there, we've got actually 2 plugs, but 1 outlet, and then everything else is 220. The problem is, yeah, it's not on that wall. And if you're used to US code, you would have a plug on that wall. So I think US code was like every 10 feet and every wall you had to have a outlet, or every 7 to 10 feet, something like that. That's not code here in Korea. So this apartment complex is 8 years old, 9 years old, which is really nice. But the problem is, yeah, you don't have a lot of electrical plugs. So it's very different than the United States. And even in the kitchen and stuff like that, there's minimal plugs. Because in the United States, you got blenders, this, that, you got all kinds of electrical things that you can put up and plug in. Here in Korea, yeah, not too many of those. So yeah, if you're coming to Korea thinking you're gonna have a ton of, no, you're not. You're not gonna have a ton of plugs. So yeah, thinking about doing something with that wall, and we'll see how that goes. Again, I'm gonna have to pull that out. And the other thing that I'm gonna have to get, so I can power that, all of the lights and everything there, is I gotta get an extension cord, 220, about 3 meters. And then, if you've lived in Korea, you have seen those things right there. Yes, a transformer. It goes from 220, knocks it down to 110, because I got a couple of items that needs to get plugged into there. Matter of fact, it's just the one. And then the rest of it is going to be, I got to get a 220 power strip. And then that way I could plug in the rest of the Korean stuff. So, and I got a couple other lights that I need to be able to charge, but hopefully I can get a power strip that has some USB connectors and chargers, about 5 volts, 15 volts, something like that, 1 or 2 amps, whatever. And then that will be able to do the lights that we need and be able to charge some stuff. So yeah, fun. So now that I had all of that done, I got to go back and I got to fix that, which is crazy. I just don't get it. It's one worked, but it doesn't really matter because the other one doesn't. So I still got to pull everything out. So the good thing is I already wired everything up and I can pull everything back. I'm just going to have to get the wife to help me out with that. We got the Hulk, still have to paint him. And then we just got some decorations here. Some of the stuff that I got before I got into resin printing. And then of course, that's FDM printed, and that whole thing is FDM printed as well. So yeah, then that's just gonna be like a parts camera collection thing. And then I need to get like some drawers or something. I need some drawer space to put drawer things in. So we've got that there. But all of this is gonna get cleaned up. I've got another mat that's gonna be coming in. But that definitely looks a hell of a lot cleaner than what it was before. And let me see if I can find this. Screensaver. And boom, we're going to have the professional looking. Yeah, we're going to have that. So that automatically looks a hell of a lot better right there. That looks like professional. So cool little screensaver that we got going on. But yeah, this is coming along nicely. The wiring and then the frustration of Sequoia and all of that going on was just kind of a thing. Other stuff that we got going on is the other hobby room, which we have here. And to give you a view on what's going on, boxes and junk. I swear I'm going to get rid of that box. I'm known for keeping boxes. And when we moved in here, this whole area was full of boxes. And so I'm proud of myself that I got rid of those boxes. We've got our paint station here. We've got all of our paints, our airbrush paints. Of course, I got some in the other room as well. And then if I get a laser engraver is probably going to go over here. Or I could turn this table up against that wall and then have the laser engraver over there, the paint station like here, and then that way, and then we have an inline fan. How do you like my duct tape? See, this duct tape stayed. Well, no, it doesn't. It's coming off too. Seriously. But I need to make a printout and adapter for that. I mean, Terry Lay. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Terry. How's it going? Doing a little update on the room. So we've got all this here. The cool thing I like about this is that we've got these cool looking blinds. And this can section off that so it doesn't look so ghetto. The other thing that we got coming in here is going to be a kitchen island. It's got some drawer space, and that's going to replace this table. and that'll make this look a lot nicer. We might end up getting 2 of those, so that way we've got kind of like a workbench bar. And then this table is going to go over here. So I actually have, that will be a build area for projects. So stuff like the helmet that I'm working on, and I'll have a dedicated workspace, and yeah, there's that. So yeah, that's what we got going on. So need more power, but things are coming along. We're getting there. And yeah, got to do something with that wall. This wall is, and it's a wallpaper. If you look at that, it's got some wild texture. It's actually got some silk on it, but yeah, it's old. It's like 9 years old. So, but it's coming along, except for that, which I'm highly disappointed. So yeah, we'll have to drag all this out, which dragging all this out means I got to take all this stuff down, because all this stuff is, well, I mean, that's on there with, I use some blue tack for these. So I can just take off this, and hopefully, well, this isn't blue tacked. And that's a little shaky. This I'm not worried about, because that's, I made that. Maybe I should just make more of those. That would be but then I wouldn't have a cool looking shelf. So I don't know. But yeah, got to move all this stuff over, get power, need more power. And that's what we got going on. So things are cleaning up a little bit. So imagine all of that is gone. Imagine that stuff is gone. Imagine that table being gone. And we'll definitely have some more room to play around with stuff. So yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. So other than that, again, it's going to be pretty hot today. It's going to be in the 90s. Got to go pick up a power strip. I do have a product that I'm going to be taking a look at, which is going to be awesome for resin printers. If you hate changing the FEPs on your VAT for your resin printer, like I have a Saturn 3 Ultra, if you have like a monoport 5, I think it is, or a Photon 5 or something, yeah, the Saturn 4 Ultra, there's a great way that you can change the FEP, and it's incredible. I did a video on changing out the FEP on my Saturn 3 Ultra, and it took a great amount of time. So you're going to get this little thing here, and I'll show you. This is the teaser. This is the Chi2 Systems HOPAT X2M X3 X5, and it's good for the Photon Mono X, the X6K, X2, M3 Plus. This is going to be the X3, which is for the Saturn 2, Saturn 3, and Saturn 3 Ultra. And then you have the X5 for the Photon Mono M5, M5S, and M5S Pro. And this thing is crazy. This is, you know what? Let's just do a little mini review here, because this thing is going to be a game changer. I swear. I will never go back to stock. And let's see, how are we going to do this? I still have crap on my desk. Okay. A little bit up. There we go. But this HOPAT, this thing is going to be a game changer, because this will allow you to change your FEP in seconds, compared to 30, 40 minutes, which is usually what happens when you change an FEP on your resin printer. So again, the Chi2 have there, the HOPAT, I don't know why they call it HOPAT. You think they would have a easier name. But basically, what you end up doing, it's so easy. So the step one is, yeah, you take off some stuff off of your included film. So it says take out a piece of the customized release film, peel off its protective film, install the film on the aluminum alloy square hoop according to the corresponding hole position. And then step two, what you see there, it says Make sure the side of the square hoop with the multiple metal perfusions face downward. So in other words, you turn it upside down once you set it up, and then you just snap everything to place, and boom, there it is. So, and the cool thing is, so they have installation instructions if you have the ACF or the PFA, and it gives you the instructions on how to do all that stuff. So, yeah, you put the film on, puts the lotion on its skin, but you put the film on the little hoop, and then you peel off the film, and then you turn it upside down, and there you go. So the cool thing about this, and again, this is awesome, we've got, you have your protective film, PFA, 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 PFA. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 of these right here. And as you can see, it talks about your protective film that we got there. And you would be able to peel that off, which is, yeah, the blue stuff. And then you just set that down onto your mat. But it gets better. It does get better. So we got 4 of these. And that is nice because this is going to last a long time. I think it was like a year and a half that I ended up printing stuff, and I had some damage on my FEP on my Saturn III Ultra, so I had to change that out, and that was a bear. And the instructions weren't as clear either. The other cool thing about this is with this system, they give you the vat, you buy it, but they have this cool cover. So your vat is going to have a cover, and for those of us who have done resin printing, either you printed out your own cover, or you did what most people did, is cut out a piece of cardboard and put it on top, and it looks ghetto. So yeah, but this is nice. The other cool thing that I like about this is that it has the pour spout. Let's see if we can get it in focus. But the pour spout on this is really, really nice. It's aluminum, everything is nice, and if you notice, you got some things here. So kind of like some clips on the four edges, and on the underside of this, that will release the hoop, which is going to be this thing right here. So you've got all those. What you'll end up doing is putting on your film, and then once you do that, so you can leave it in like this, put your film on there, and then once you've got the film on there, and then you turn it over like so it fits in like this, and then you just put that like that. As I'm balancing this, good thing I got big hands. And then you've got the clip like that, and then boom. And then do the same thing with this side. You have the clips that go in, and your vat is changed. No longer do you have to mess with spacers. You know, on my last video, people got on me. It's like, oh, you didn't, according to the website, you didn't use the 5mm spacers, and so you're not doing it right. And it's like, back when I made that video, the instructions that were included with the FEP and how to change it didn't say anything about spacers. So at the time of that video, I was 100% correct. And matter of fact, I'm still using it. So yeah, it works. But now there's so many different things because, you know, people are concerned about the tension of your vat, not your vat, but your FEP, and, you know, getting the right tension. And you know, you got to put spacers so that you don't have any, you know, drooping of the FEP when you do this, and screw everything and going in a star configuration, which takes, you know, 30, 40 minutes. And then sometimes, because there's not pre-drilled holes in your regular stock FEP replacement films, some people have ripped them and there's leaks. So again, I've had people contact me and they're like, hey, I really hate this, blah, 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 or whatever. And they ruined a couple of films because those things ripped, and you end up putting water in the vat to test to make sure that the film works. and they ended up getting leaks, which you don't want resin leaking into your system because you'll have to buy a new one. So, or lots of cleanup, or both. So yeah, this HOPAT system is going to be really, really cool. I'm really looking into it. Going to be making a video hopefully by the end of this week. And like I said, this thing is the bomb. I mean, it is so easy, so easy. And yeah, this is going to be good. So, as a matter of fact, I've got to do some more printing of stuff. My wife wants to get she's interested in painting miniatures after I showed her the Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 and what you could do with that. There's some videos in the playlist, the hobby playlist, showing you can get some incredible results with the speed paint. So she wanted to get into it because she really likes those, and it doesn't, it takes some skill, but it doesn't take a ton of skill, and you can get some really good results. So this has come just in time. We're going to be doing a review on this, and yeah, this is going to be a game changer. So Cheeto Systems, they did send this to me. They said, hey, are you interested in doing this? We saw that you do resin printing and so on and so forth. I said, sure. I said, but I'm going to do an honest review. And they're like, totally. I don't even have to run the video through Cheeto Systems like some other companies do. Other companies that have contacted me that want videos, they want to pay me to make a positive video with no negatives. And I don't roll that way. So I've turned down a number of companies and said, hey, I just do honest reviews. If the product works, I'm going to let people know. If it doesn't live up to the advertised claims, I'm not going to, I'm going to tell them. And then I had a lot of companies that said, yeah, no, that's not what we want, and we don't want a review. We just want you to do this and blah, blah, blah. And you get the product for free. And I'm like, no, that's not how I roll. So at Cheeto Systems, when they contacted me about this, I said, realize I do honest reviews, and I've had a lot of companies, not happy with that, and they're like, do whatever you want. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. That'll be a formal video review. We won't do it live. I'm going to do it in Final Cut and try to get some cool looking B-roll and whatever, as cool as I can get it. So we'll see how that goes. But I had seen this before, and I was seriously considering on getting this. Matter of fact, that begs the question, how much is that? Let's look that up. HOPAT X2M. I'll see how that pops up. HOPAT. There we go, CheetoSystems.com, and series, there it is, the Vault, the VAT, 3D printer accessories, resin printer series, HOPAT resin plat, plat. So let's take a look and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So, I'll just kind of move this off to the side so you can get a look at my ugly mug. So there it is in all its glory. And it ends up that this thing is $89.90, so 90 bucks. $90, you get an entire vat and you get 4 FEPs. And yeah, 20 minutes, others 20 minutes, seriously? No, I'm thinking 30, 40 minutes, having to redo all of the screws with the old systems. It's a pain in the butt, to where with this one, you put the screen on and then, yeah, even tension all the way across, because you've got the 4 latches on here. So pre-drilled holes, so you don't have to, cut your own holes or risk, having to have some type of, leak or something like that. This just looks like a really good system. So, yeah, and that's, oops, where we go? What are we doing? There we go. So yeah, you pull off the blue protective film, you put it onto the hoop. I guess why they call it the hoop, and you pat it down. Maybe that's why they called the name the hoop hat. But yeah, the same thing. Boom. And with this one, it says you got to throw away, and that's for the PFA. So if you have an ACF, which one do I have? So you got a protective film on the bottom of the PFA. So which ones are these? I've got PFA. So it's got a bottom protective film that we can see there. And then you have the blue protective film up top. So blue always goes up top, but if you have a PFA, you'll have a protective side on that as well. So you just peel that off. Then with the blue and the regular FEP, you put that down onto your little thing there. And then, boom, flip the little things on the side there, and you are good. So yeah, it really looks like a cool system. Yeah, built to last, aluminum, the whole 9 yards. Pour spout, which looks really, really nice. It's definitely an improved spout compared to others. And compatibility for any cubic photon X, X6K, mono X2, M3 Plus, Saturn II, Saturn III, Saturn III Ultra, and Saturn IV, Saturn IV Ultra, Saturn IV Ultra 16K, and then the Anycubic Photon Mono 5, 5S, 5, M5S Pro. So yeah, definitely a cool system there. So for 90 bucks, that's pretty good. And again, when you're talking about changing out your FEP, you're going to be paying some money for that. So for example, with the Elegoo Saturn III Ultra FEP replacement, if we go over there, dun, 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 dun. Let's see, what do we need? We need materials, parts, and accessories. Parts for, no, I don't want to spin that thing. Printers, resin printers. Shop by printer type, Saturn. I got so much we're gonna look for. So, Saturn III, seriously. You wanna know how much 5 pieces for the Saturn III Ultra is? There it is, look at that. 5 pieces for $85. And that's just the film. So with the Hope Hat system, you're going to get a replacement vat. You're going to get 4 of those for $90. So yeah, you don't get one piece of this. But again, this is going to take you 30 to 45 minutes to replace all of this. And again, those are just the films. On these films, there's no holes on these that you have to put holes in those. So again, a lot of people have problems with that stuff when it comes to changing out their FEP because, is it crooked? Yeah. Because they have to puncture holes in there. And so you have people that will use a pinhole or they'll attack or, a knife, they'll try to do something like that. But if you get rips or tears in those things, you can easily ruin your ACF film or PFA or whatever it is. But yeah, 5 of those sheets for $85. With the Hope Hat system, you're going to get a brand new vat, you're going to get the quick release vat, and you're going to get 4 of those systems for 90 bucks. Yeah, that's not bad at all. How much was that? Yeah, $89.99. And you're going to be able to change out your FEP in like 30 seconds compared to 20, 30 minutes. So yeah, the Hope Hat Cheeto Systems thing is definitely going to, I'm looking forward to this. So, of course, after you change your FEP, you're going to have to redo your calibration on your printer and for the resin that you're using. But for the most part, I found that when I changed the FEP last time, it ended up, I did a test piece and we're good to go. So we'll see how this goes. I'll probably have to do it because it is a different vat, not a different vat, but it's a different system, PFA instead of ACF. So maybe a little bit of variance, but yeah, not bad at all. And then, oh, here's another thing. If you're wondering, remember how it was $89, basically $90 for 5 of the ACF films from Elegoo for their Saturn III Ultra? Well, let's take a look at this. So the whole pad system is $90. Let me see if we can make this bigger. There we go. So for the system and 4 of these, it's going to be $90. 3 pieces of PFA. I've got 4 on these. If you're just getting the 5 pieces itself, that's $35. LCD protective film, you can get some of those. That's like $12, which isn't bad. That's for the 4 Ultra, 3 Ultra. That's not bad at all. But for 5 pieces for $35 versus Elegoo wanting $90 for 5 pieces, you can do the math. It is do the math, and you're going to save money in the long run by using this Cheeto Systems thing. So yeah, I didn't know the price was that different for those FEPs from Elegoo versus Cheeto Systems. That is incredible. From $90 to $35, that is pretty wild. So anyway, that's what we got going on. Just wanted to finish up and give you an update on the room and trying to do stuff. So that's going to be fun, and enjoy the hot weather here in Korea. So with that, we're going to close out. And if you want, I would really appreciate it if you all would join the channel, like and subscribe, and I'm going to kind of flip this over. Terry says, I feel your pain with reorganizing. I officially retired last Friday. Oh, congrats. Hey, the wife is back. But let me kind of show you what we got going on. Congratulations to Terry for retiring. You can't beat that. That is awesome. And of course, you're retired, there's cleaning up and all that stuff, so I wasn't able to read the rest of the comment. But congratulations, Terry. Retirement is so cool. I love that. Anyway, the last thing that we got here, as you can see, email, if you want to send me an email for whatever reason, hobby stuff, retired in Korea, just say hi or whatever. The email address is there. I usually respond in about 1 or 2 days, which is pretty cool. I always answer everybody, even the crazy people. So with that, you can buy me a coffee if you like any of the content. The people in the scrolling ticker and the people off to the side, that side, have bought me coffee. So I buy coffee. So if you can't buy me coffee physically, you could do it that way. But if you can't, that's totally fine. The best thing that you could do is like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Smash that like button, do that. I would really appreciate that. That would be the best thing that you can do. So with that being said, Terry, congratulations on your retirement. That is awesome. Awesome stuff there. And so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to finish out this video because the wife got back and we've got some stuff that we need to do. So with that, yeah, take care. And again, Terry, awesome. Peace, much peace and fun during your retirement. That's going to be some good stuff there. Always good to see people retire. So we're going to go ahead and close this out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace. That is good. Am I sure I want to stop streaming? Yeah.